Everybody talks about the next hack, the new funnel, the new automation that's going to change everything, but nobody questions why some businesses grow effortlessly and attract perfect clients on autopilot with ease, whilst others keep rebuilding the same old systems expecting different results. They chase tactics, they copy templates, but still the revenue doesn't move. You've probably seen it too, brands who are shouting louder, posting more, spending more, yet business seems to get quieter for them. So what if the system itself isn't the problem? What if it's what lies underneath the system that allows you to attract your perfect clients? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. Messaging. But before we get into the source, let's just quickly break down first who this video is actually for and who it's not for, because I don't want to waste your time. So this video is for you if you're a high-ticket coach, mentor, info seller, community owner, and maybe if you're an agency owner, if you have a single service agency. If you're making more than 10 grand a month, if you have client results, and if you are open to new perspectives. If that is you, then this video will probably be quite useful. Now, this is not for you if you're under 10 grand a month, no client results, and that you're not open to new perspectives. If that is you, then click off the video, to be honest, because it just won't be useful. But now that we're talking to the right people, why should you even listen to me, okay? Why should you watch this video? Well, this is some of the results I'll be able to get for my clients, and there's no reason why you also can't get these results. Like this, 30K in pipeline in 7 days, 5K in pipeline day 1, 10.5K in pipeline 10 days, 10K pipeline in 7 days. And this is more focused on email marketing. 95% open rate, 76% open rate, 70%, 89%, 76%, and then click rates 19%, 41%, 22%, 28%, 8%. So there's plenty of proof. You can check out my Instagram if you want to see more. But let's first go ahead and dive into the first section, which is what messaging really means. Because a lot of people talk about messaging, but no one explains what that really means. Most people think that messaging is just some words on the screen, some headline, some tagline, but that's completely untrue. Real messaging, real good messaging is quite literally the backbone behind whether you ever attract high quality leads from your ecosystem ever, okay? Put quite poetically, it's the way your brand thinks. It's the translation of your beliefs, your values, your personality into something your audience can actually feel. Messaging is the emotional fingerprint of your business. When someone reads your post, opens your email, lands on your site, the words are secondary. The thing they're really asking is, do I feel understood and targeted here? And most businesses fail that test. They talk at people instead of to them. They fill every page with buzzwords and features and offers, but nothing truly answers the one question in the reader's head, which is this for me? Messaging at its core is how you answer that question again and again, everywhere you show up. It's what shapes the story people tell themselves about you when you're not in the room. It's what builds recognition. So when people see your name, they know the vibe, the tone, the promise. Because let's be honest, there are thousands of coaches, mentors, agencies saying the same thing. For example, we help you scale, we help you grow, we help you make more money. Everyone says that. That's noise. Strong messaging should take the same idea and make it yours. It filters your offer through your worldview. Maybe you believe growth shouldn't cost your health. Maybe you believe success is about clarity, not hustle. Maybe you believe in small, clean systems instead of chaos and burnout. Those beliefs, when articulated clearly, become your message. They turn your business from one of many to the only one that makes sense. And the funny thing is, once you get your messaging right, everything becomes easier. You stop guessing what's the post, you stop rewriting your offer, and you start creating alignment instead of anxiety. Every email starts to feel like a conversation, and people don't just remember your stuff. People don't just watch your stuff, but they remember your stuff. Now, if you're wondering, how do I make my messaging unique? Simple. What's different about your story? Look at your story as the founder, because it's so powerful. Look at your story, what's different about it, and use it. So think about it like this. If there's one thing that you take away from this session is this. Your offer is the product, your ecosystem is the engine, but your messaging is one of many fuels that fuels this engine. If the fuel's watered down, the engine will splutter. That's a lot of the time why brands with average systems but crystal clear messaging will beat brands with killer systems, because people buy meaning long before they buy mechanics. And the thing is, you can't outsource messaging until you lived it. It has to start with your clarity. These questions: who are you for? What problem do you solve better than everyone else? And what belief and identity do you want your audience to hold after they've interacted with you? And finally, what is your story and what makes it different? When you know these answers, every system you build becomes an amplifier, not a replacement. Your emails don't just sell, but they build trust. Your ecosystem doesn't just convert, but it connects with people. So you have a good reputation. Your brand starts to actually feel alive. You have a real brand. So the next time you're thinking about improving your client getting system, improving your marketing, don't rush to add another automation or another split test. First, ask if your messaging is really, really dialed, because when the message is clear, the market listens. That's what messaging really means. And once you understand it, it's the foundation of everything. But why? Scroll down here. Why is messaging the foundation of everything? Everyone builds ecosystems, client getting systems for a reason, to attract the right clients. That's the whole point. To create something that constantly pulls people in who want to do what you're selling, who, you know, if you're selling a fitness program, who want to get fit. But there's a mistake that most make, okay? They think that attraction comes from systems, from a better funnel, from smarter automation, from prettier branding. But before that, it comes from messaging. Attraction comes from messaging, because your messaging is what decides who shows up and why they stay, and how they see you. It's the magnet at the center of your ecosystem. Without it, you're just building a machine that spins but doesn't pull anyone in. You can post 3 times a day, 8 times a day, send the perfect emails, run ads with the best targeting, but if your messaging isn't clear, then your ideal clients will just scroll right past. They won't see themselves in what you're saying. And if they don't see themselves in what you're saying, then your ecosystem will fail. And it won't fail because your tech's off, but it will fail because the energy of your message is off. Your content attracts attention, but not alignment. Your emails inform, but don't inspire. Your offer shows value, but not relevance. Okay? That's what happens when messaging isn't built first. But strong messaging flips that completely. It filters everyone out who's not a fit, and it amplifies those who are. Your content becomes a signal instead of noise. Your emails start conversations with people who already believe what you believe. Your offer feels like the logical next step, not a sales pitch. And when that happens, your ecosystem becomes effortless. Attracting clients become effortless because you don't have to chase. You draw people in naturally, like gravity. Why? Because your ideal clients aren't searching for systems, but they're searching for something that feels true to them. They're looking for a language that reflects the problem that they can't articulate yet. And when your messaging mirrors the truth, then they stop scrolling, they lean in, and they think that this is exactly what I've been trying to say. That's how attraction works. Not by shouting louder, not by posting more, but by being clearer. If your message is off, the wrong people will move through them. You'll fill your pipeline with leads that drain instead of add value, okay? But when your messaging is dialed in, then everything compounds. The right clients will find you. They share your content. They open your emails because they want to hear from you. They arrive at your offer already believing because the message has done the heavy lifting. Now, that is why messaging is the foundation, okay? It's not another part of the ecosystem. It's a core function. It's what turns your systems from lifeless automation to attraction engines. So if you want an ecosystem that scales, don't start with the tech, but start with the truth you're trying to share. Because when that truth is clear, then your ecosystem stops feeling like work. Your client getting system start feeling like work, and it starts to actually feel magnetic. And that brings us to the next section, which is how messaging drives email marketing. Email marketing is not about sending emails, okay? It's about connection and conversion. And connection doesn't happen from clever subject lines, fancy templates, or perfect timing. It comes from messaging. Every email you send is a voice in your ecosystem. It either speaks to your ideal client or it doesn't. Either pull them closer or push them away. Most emails get ignored. People don't open them, people don't click them, and it's not always because your system failed, but it's because your message didn't land. Messaging drives everything in email marketing: the subject line, the tone, the story, even the smallest word choice. Because the thing most people overlook is email marketing is where you'll probably make most of your money. It consistently delivers the highest ROI of any platform based on studies and data. So many studies and data shows that email marketing has the highest average ROI, higher than social, higher than ads, higher than anything else. This is the primary place of conversion. Your attraction strategy, the messaging that drew them in through content, socials, lead magnets, it has to land perfectly here because this is where the sale really happens. And when your messaging is clear, aligned with your audience, and then something quite remarkable happens. Your emails feel personal, even if you're sending out hundreds. Your audience reads them like a conversation, not a broadcast. They see themselves in your words and they trust you even before they click. Strong messaging in emails doesn't just push an offer, but it qualifies the right people naturally. The right people open, read, and act. The wrong people ignore it, and it's perfect. Because the problem is most people treat email like a numbers game. Send more, segment more, test endlessly. And in all honesty, partly it is. And the numbers game does work with email, okay? But if your messaging is off, then a lot of your work is wasted, or a lot of your work can be done more efficiently. When your messaging is dialed in, every email becomes a magnet, not a task. It reinforces your ecosystem, it compounds your attraction, and it turns readers into buyers at scale. So, before you craft another sequence, ask yourself, does this email reflect the truth, the core message that my audience needs to hear? And does it pull the right people closer? Because here, more than anyone else, messaging matters. Email is where attraction meets conversion. Your messaging right here, and I promise you that ROI will follow, because our messaging has been on point for these clients that we've got results for, and especially a lot of the clients who've done really well in email with. And it's one of the big reasons why, because our messaging is so good, and the core message that we're trying to sell to people and we're trying to get people to believe in is so convincing that you control people. It's almost kind of like hypnotizing people into believing into whatever you want them to believe. Now, this brings me to our next section, which is how to build messaging that powers your ecosystem. If messaging is the engine of your ecosystem, or one of the engines of your ecosystem, then building it correctly is non-negotiable, okay? Most people try to write copy first, but that's wrong. So here's a simple 4-step system that you can use to dial in your messaging. Step 1 is to get crystal clear on your ideal client, not anyone who needs help. Be specific, their problems, their desires, their pain points, their motivators, their fears, everything. Know them better than they know themselves. Messaging only works when you know who you're targeting and when you know who you're trying to attract. Step 2 is to define their identity, their current and aspirational identity. Identity is one of the most powerful things in our current day and age. Identity and transformations. Messaging doesn't come from just attracting anyone. It comes from attracting the right people. Who are they today and who do they want to become? Your messaging must reflect both where they are and the identity that they aspire to step into. Maybe they're at 10 grand a month, or maybe they are a broke sales rep and they want to become a rich sales rep. What's the identity of the broke sales rep? How does he act, think? What does he do on a daily basis? And how does the rich sales rep, how does he act, think on a daily basis? That's what you need to That's what you need to hone in, because people don't buy solutions. They buy the versions of themselves, but they see in your story. They buy transformations. So your ecosystem should magnetically pull them into that aspirational identity. Step 3, articulate your unique beliefs. These are principles you stand for, and the truth that you challenge. Okay, 2 people can offer the same transformation, but the one with clear beliefs becomes magnetic. Beliefs give your messaging authority, clarity, and separation from everyone else. They tell your audience that this is actually who I am. This is what makes me different, and this is why you should follow this path. Uniqueness. It's so important to be different in today's world because everyone is the same. And step 4 is to share your story and teach through experience. Your messaging isn't just made from instructions, it's made from journey. So embed your founder story into your content, into your emails. I see so many people who have such an inspiring, just a really, really good story that can be put out there, but they don't use it. You have to use your story. Your story is one of the most powerful tools in this day and age because it allows you to sell without being salesy. Okay? When you teach through experience, then you build trust, you build relatability and authority naturally. You don't need to force it. And being in that position is so powerful. Now, once you have these 4 steps aligned, then all you have to do is map out your messaging onto your ecosystem. Every post, email, lead magnet, landing page should echo the same identity, belief, and story. Keep it consistent, okay? Keep testing it, keep refining it, keep reinforcing it. That's how your messaging will be able to power your ecosystem that attracts, converts, and compounds effortlessly. And in fact, on the topic of compounding, that brings us to a final thing we're talking about today, which is the flywheel concept. Now, most people think of marketing kind of like a funnel, a leaky funnel. Okay, you push people through steps: awareness, interest, desire, action, etc. And then they stop. Okay, that's why funnels feel exhausting. You're constantly chasing. You're chasing leads. You're constantly pushing, constantly hoping the next email, post, ad works. Okay, but the flywheel, an ecosystem approach. Let's say this is your ecosystem. That flips the whole game. Because instead of pushing, you pull. Instead of forcing attention, you attract it. And the core of that attention, the core of that is messaging. The core of your ecosystem, your flywheel, whatever you want to call it, is messaging. Okay? Your content, emails, offers all spin together. They all operate on the same frequency and align, which compounds momentum. Every time someone engages, they feed the system, they share, they comment, they bring more of the right people in. Okay, so think about it like this, okay? Your content attracts and starts to build trust, okay? Your emails maximize connection and convert. And your ecosystem keeps spinning, which is powered by clarity, identity, beliefs, and story embedded in your messaging. The more precise your messaging is, the more perfect clients you're going to be able to attract, and hence the faster your flywheel is going to spin, meaning that you keep building momentum on momentum on momentum, and you just scale like absolutely crazy. Clear, aligned messaging accelerates everything naturally, almost effortlessly. And the magic is, once the flywheel is moving, it doesn't need constant pushing. Because the right people are attracted automatically. They resonate with the story, they believe in the transformation, and when it's time to buy, they already trust you. That's why messaging, and I've said it 100 times and I'll say it another 100 times, is one of the most important parts of your ecosystem. Not the funnel. Messaging is the energy that keeps everything moving. It determines how fast, how far, how efficiently this flywheel spins. Because if you don't nail it, then you will never attract the right type of clients. But if you nail it, clarity, identity, belief, story, you don't just have a marketing system, but you have a self-sustaining engine, one that grows, one that compounds, and one that attracts the right clients without endless effort. And so after watching this video, you finally understand one of the most overlooked yet powerful parts of ecosystems, client getting systems, and just scaling your coaching business in general. This is something that not many people know about and most people overlook, and that's what holds them back. So if you are a coach that's from making around, 10, 30 grand a month, and you want to get to the next level, but you're not 100% sure how to get there, and you're not 100% sure what's holding you back right now, then there's a link down below to book in a call with us where we can audit your entire system, and we're more focused on email marketing, so we can help you A to Z build out the entire email marketing system and help you dial in your messaging so that you can build a flywheel and ecosystem that compounds and grows like crazy and with ease. God, that was a mouthful. But if you feel that would be helpful, there's a link down below. But if you're not ready for that yet, then just click this video next, which teaches you 5 psychological principles used by people like Iman Gadzhi and Alex Hormozi to make the money that they make.